Are we all? Oh, I was so ready, and then I wasn't. And isn't that always the way? I feel like I've got a
That is
mic.
always the way.
Do you know what? This isn't plugged in, but it's either have it just in the way or make it look like I'm using it. So
We'll use it as a prop.
yeah, it might help the algorithm. Or make it look like I'm using it. So
We'll use it as a prop.
make it look
Okay.
like I'm using it.
I can hear as well on my. I've just had a little click in, so
Same.
that's put my mind at rest. At least that's all good.
Hey, now, thank you guys. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Hope everyone's well. It's Wednesday again. The day comes round so quickly.
It's
Have you had a good
another.
week, Liz?
Yeah, it's been all right. Just draining as always.
Draining as always. You sound
Never.
exhausted.
Yeah, I am. Never a dull day when you work in education.
Oh no, it's been one of those days, has it?
One of those weeks.
One of those weeks. Oh God.
But
Dane's in the chat. Hey, Dane.
good evening. How's your week been, Steph?
So far, pretty good. I had a meeting today that
Oh,
it's something I didn't even think about before, but it just kind of came to me, was offered
yeah.
to me, and I was like, wait, yeah, I could do that. Also, I could do that again and again and again. And that's live painting at events.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So there's weddings will pay like 2 grand for a live picture at their wedding being painted. It's like entertainment and they get the
Okay.
memory.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like all the festivals that we're at this summer, I could do a live painting while we're there, and
Oh
then
my
offer
God.
people the chance to like, I don't know, buy a raffle ticket or as many as they want to
Yeah.
try and win it at the end of the weekend. But then
That is such a
also,
cool idea.
oh cool, yeah.
Really
Uh,
cool.
so yeah, someone approached me and was like, "How would you feel about doing this?" And I was like, "I'll be honest, I have never done that in my life, but I feel like I could." So I had a meeting with the couple earlier where they discussed like everything that they know so far. The
Yeah.
wedding isn't until late this year. Um, so like 2 weeks before they're gonna get hold of me and let me know like colours and like I can contact the venue and it's gonna be so cool. I've never even thought about it as a job before. So
That is so niche. I'm so pleased for you. Because the potential there is wicked.
that's what I thought. I'm so excited. But I
Very
feel like,
cool.
yeah, any kind of event could like, I don't know, it just kind of looks kind of cool, doesn't it, to have
Yeah,
an
that's
artist
over there.
working in-house. So yeah,
That is
apart
wicked.
from that, just your average week, I must
Yeah,
say. I
well,
got to go and feed the lovely Fleur yesterday afternoon, play with her for
oh,
a bit.
I'm sure she appreciated your company.
She was so excited, but also looking around like, where's mum? She's missing
Yeah.
out on this. Does she know you're
Yeah.
here? Like,
Oh.
I don't think
That
she's
is
ever
so
seen me
cute.
like on her own before
Yeah,
without.
yeah. Without, like, at least me or Lou with you.
So yeah, that
Um,
was cute.
I hope you've got another wedding offer there. Hey, Anna.
Um,
Hello. Hello.
Welcome to do that for
Commanding
my
Speaker.
wedding. Anna, yes, please. Sorry, carry on, Linz.
No, I'm just shouting out people in the chat, saying hi to those arriving. Welcome. I'm very excited about tonight's topic.
Me too, man. Me too. I think it's going to be an interesting one. I must say that when I wrote the caption, I had no idea what you were going to be saying. So I just kind of put my
In on it.
understanding of the connection between spirituality and so guys, I have no idea what's coming out of Lindsay's mouth tonight. I'm
Yeah, but
experiencing it with you guys.
I'm pretty sure that you got the right kind of vibe, because my whole thing was we'll introduce what the placebo effect is and explain it, but
Yeah,
then kind of go on to the impact, like what does that mean for us, if you see what I mean.
yeah, yeah. I like that. So what is should we jump right into it? Is that what we're doing? We're a bit late
Yeah.
anyway, so
Yeah, no, go for it, definitely.
what is the placebo effect? Oh, I was asking for your understanding.
I just realised, I was like, "I think she's talking to me," being as I'm the other host. I think
No
she's
one
waiting
else
for me
here,
to
babe.
answer. So, the placebo effect is when an effect occurs that would be expected with, um, a certain chemical or product, but when that chemical or product isn't that, it's just a fake. I'm sure you can actually define placebo effect in a
No,
more
you
succinct
did.
way.
You've described it perfectly. It's a psychological and physiological phenomenon that occurs when people expect a certain outcome.
Yeah,
Similarly, I always get delight at telling people this just because I don't know, I like telling people things that they don't know, but you might already know
okay.
this. A
No, go for it.
nocebo, a nocebo is
Okay.
when someone experiences negative effects because that's what they're expecting from a placebo. A placebo can be a sugar pill, it
Yeah.
can be a sham procedure, anything that can be. It's a really good tool that we use in science, which is why I'm really excited to be talking about it. Um, but yeah, I think nocebos don't get talked about enough. We talk about what we expect from medication, from a treatment, and then don't really talk about the negative things we assume that will come from it, and then they happen because of our expectations rather than the
Ah.
treatment.
So does the
Um,
word placebo only capture positive effects then?
yeah, the reason that placebo gets used is because one, it is the psychological phenomenon that our brain cannot decipher between fantasy and real life.
Yeah.
When we expect something, when we truly believe something, that can be enhanced by certain things like the person that's providing the treatment, if they've got a good connection with you, if you really respect them, then that placebo is going to be higher. If you have a real need for this belief to be real, a cure for something
Yeah.
that's really going to save you, then that placebo will be higher. Yeah, it's generally these positive expectations that the patient is wanting from the thing.
But just to
Um,
clarify, so a nocebo would still be like the sugar pill, but it would be getting side effects rather than positive effects.
yeah, so say I gave it was a sugar pill for I don't know, headaches,
Yeah.
and I experienced not just I experienced a worse headache than what I had before. That
Yeah,
would
because you
be a
expected
nocebo.
this. Okay. Sorry, I
Yeah.
just needed to understand that.
No, no, please do, because if you need to understand it, then there's a good chance people listening also need a better understanding. So please, by all
So,
means.
have you ever experienced, as in witnessed, a placebo effect that you can remember? Just because I'll tell you a
Um,
story when
yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I can't think of a time that something has happened where I've been like, "Ooh," and it turned out to be a placebo effect. Um, there are definitely chances that it's happened within certain therapeutic sessions, within
yeah,
certain times that I've tried medication and initially thought, okay, this is making me better now. And actually, it was just that initial expectation of like, my life will be better.
yeah,
And as
yeah,
that seems to wear off, then not so much. But more, I did a medical trial for eczema treatment and it was for injections.
mm,
And all I'd heard was really good signs from people that was really good notes from people that were saying they had the actual treatment and that
mm.
it was really working for them. Their severe eczema was clearing up like night and day. Um, so I was like, like, please, please put me in that group. But with it being a double blind trial, I had no idea, and they have to do this to show that that treatment is
Yeah.
working. It's not just a placebo effect. And I knew straight away that I wasn't in the actual treatment category. I was in the placebo category because as the weeks went on, my skin was getting worse, and it's not from a nocebo effect. The trial that I did, I had to stop all my medications, all my creams.
Ah,
So my skin was getting worse and worse and worse,
yeah.
while the doctors can't say,
Yeah.
no, that's not what group you're in. And they were watching me like physically be in pain. And they said at the end, like, that was really difficult
Oh,
to watch, to the point that it got to the point where they were like, look, we've done your thing now. We
yeah.
know where you are. Keep coming because you'll get your trial payments. But like, we're just
Yeah.
going to give you nothing. We're just going to keep giving you the treatment. But because it's a placebo, keep taking
Yeah.
your
Start your
medication, start your
treatment.
creams
Yeah.
again. Yeah. So that's basically my
Experience.
relationship that I initially comes to mind when I think about it. What comes to you?
Well, mine's a funny experience when I was in my teens. And I don't think I think I tried alcohol and cannabis at that point, but I think I was only about 13. It wasn't something that I was like kind of regularly doing or anything like that. But the older lads that we hung around with were, so I was always around it. And there was this lad, and he was like a bit nerdier than them looking back. I didn't realise this at the time because they were all the older lads to me. So older people just tend to be cooler to you when you're
Okay.
young anyway, don't they? So they were all
Yeah.
like 15. But looking back, he was like the kind of outsider. And they rolled him because he was constantly like, oh, let me try some weed, let me try some weed, like to the other lads. And this one time they
Yeah.
were like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll let you try some. And they rolled him what they said was a joint, but it wasn't. I think it had tobacco and then some like moss and leaves and things in it from down the
Mm.
park. And I always remember like partly feeling really bad for him, like what because I knew what was like going on. But he smoked it and then was just off his head. Like even though it was only a fag essentially, but it looked like a joint and he thought it was a joint. And he was just
Hilarious.
like really prattling around and he was like just falling all over the place and just being really daft. And looking back, he genuinely must have thought that he was experiencing the effects.
Yeah.
But he probably was just so kind of like excited about trying it because the effects he was experiencing weren't necessarily what you would expect from a joint either, but he wouldn't know what it was going to do. So I think, he was kind of relying on experiences with drinking because he was acting like he was drunk.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so that was years and years ago. And I remembered, I just thought, God, how embarrassing, because everyone knows he's faking it. But now understanding placebo, he probably wasn't faking it. He probably didn't realize that he was faking it, if you see what I mean, because he had the expectation that it was going to do something.
No,
Um,
yeah. Expectation physiologically changes the body. Like
yeah,
it reduces pain. It induces cortisol, dopamine. He was genuinely probably off his nut.
yeah, on his own chemicals.
I imagine the first hit of like tobacco as well. He would have got that feeling of like tobacco can hit you if you when you first had a cigarette. It's that
Oh
like
yeah. I mean, he
make you a
he
bit
was
like, "Ooh."
He was a smoker, but when you smoked back then, because your parents didn't know, you'd have like one fag every 3 days down the park or whatever.
Yeah,
So it probably, I mean, Dana's actually put in the chat, cigarette head rushes are no joke, and you're right. I don't smoke
you'll get
nicotine
them.
anymore, but I remember um in the past thinking, because my dad used to smell my hands when I came in, because you could never get rid of the smell of smoke off your hands unless you rubbed evergreen leaves in between them, but then that smell of fern or pine or whatever it was, then he'd know because I'd rubbed that on them. But so this one day I thought, I know what I'll do, I'll smoke a ciggy without taking it out of my mouth. So I was like that, like this, and oh my god, I actually passed out. Like, I didn't even smoke the whole thing before I fully passed out, was shaking, was sweating like cold sweat. It was the most horrendous feeling, but obviously now I know what it was. But yeah, nicotine rushes are no joke.
I the That's hilarious. I could just imagine you like Popeye, like trying to keep it in your mouth, like.
And thinking as well that I'd literally sussed it. It was
See,
like, no,
I
this was not a good idea.
It's really not. I ashamedly do still smoke tobacco, and I can't have it in my mouth for longer than 3 seconds. Just the smoke that, like, goes in my eye, I'm like, "How do people do
Yeah,
this?"
isn't it? But anyway, so back to the actual, because obviously nicotine isn't a placebo. Back to the actual placebo though. Um,
Also,
so
don't smoke.
yeah, don't smoke, it's bad for you. And if you are trying to quit, check out alternative tobaccos. It's definitely changed my habit and my
Get your
life.
mugwort out.
Get your mugwort out. But yeah, so
No.
we can firmly both agree that the placebo effect is real, right?
Yes,
It's a
100%.
phenomena. Yeah, so the placebo effect isn't in dispute. We know that that is real. But then what does that mean for the future of the way we understand our brain then? Because that is pretty awesome, right? That you only have to think something is going to work for it to work. So surely that has so many knock-on effects.
No, I agree, and I will reduce it to subjective things, like, there is no placebo for curing cancer. There is no placebo for, um curing diabetes. There
Yeah.
are placebos for subjective things, so
Okay.
pain, emotion. Um, that I will again, and I'll go from even a step further and say that's as far as I'm aware. Do I know
Yeah.
for certain? No, but
No, but I
yeah,
think that's a really good point to raise actually, that the placebo effect is only effective with certain areas. Um, so fascinatingly, I know that it's either Harvard or Cambridge, Oxford, one of the big universities, actually sell bottles of placebo pills that are labeled placebo tablets. You can take them for whatever ailment you like, and it says that they're placebo pills. Have you got them? I've never actually like Googled it. I got told by a professor.
so as far as I can see, these are the ones that are just used in chemical trials, clinical trials, sorry.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, you can buy them.
And the crazy thing is that even when you know it's a placebo pill, it can still have effects on pain, because generationally we have been trained to associate the taking of a tablet with an effect of some kind. So that to me
Yeah.
blows my mind that even knowing it's a placebo can still have a positive effect on your symptoms. And
Yeah.
the science behind that is the brain will do whatever is within its capacity, within its capabilities to meet your expectations. So, like you already said, that expectations are a powerful thing. They are super powerful because your brain will utilize every tool it has at its disposal, which includes thousands of chemicals, to replicate the outcome that you are expecting from whatever it is that you're taking.
No, definitely. From a evolutionary perspective, it is what our brains do to survive. And the brain doesn't like things that go against our belief. We don't like things that are uncertain. So if we can find something that can persuade us to believe in it and that it will work, it's a very strong, powerful mechanism. Um, I think it's really fascinating. I think it's incredible that the brain can do that. and why the brain does that. Exactly, it's extraordinary for brains to be able to do that, in my opinion.
Yeah, and for me, I think that it's proof that your thoughts create your reality has scientific substance behind it. Because if that part is scientifically proved that your brain will do whatever it can to meet your expectations. If you take a sugar pill and you expect it to kill your pain, it will. Um, Presumably, if you take a sugar pill and expect that it might cure your pain as well as give you the runs, it will. You know, a nocebo could occur too. Um, so then that makes me think that if you expect that an outcome's going to go in your favor, then is there then weight behind that level of expectation? You know, can we kind of apply it to those situations that the brain already is fooled, if you like, by your own expectations. So surely that means that, you know, expecting to feel better from having that chicken soup, or expecting that that water is going to give you more energy, or expecting um that that walk is going to make like cure your depression, is going to give you a head start. I'm not saying that it then will, but surely it puts you on a better footing.
No, I agree. I think that you're already stepping on forward with the right foot, right? And even if it
Yeah.
doesn't work out, you've still got the psychological maturity and the ability to regulate emotion to be like, I'm not going to give up. Doesn't mean it's the last time, doesn't mean I can't keep going. Do you know what I mean? It makes you more resilient because
Yeah.
you've got that positive psychology that's like, okay, that wasn't meant for me. Or you're less likely to have that view of why me, it's always me, oh, for fuck's
Mm.
sake. Do you know what I mean? Which
Yeah,
then
yeah,
will set you on the wrong path to the things that you're trying to get, or you won't try again at all. It's
yeah. So
mindset is a lot to be said about. Like, it's
that's what I
very,
was
very
just thinking
powerful.
then. Yeah. So it's like placebo effect and mindset are quite interwoven in that respect, that you can use one to support the other. You know, the science behind the placebo effect can bolster the um the mindset, because what you think, feel and believe will have an impact on the outcome and the experience.
Most definitely, and especially, I want to take it back to the cancer example. It's a horrible condition that millions are affected by throughout the world. But if we might not be able to cure the physical cell issue, but there is evidence to show that acceptance and a positive outlook, good expectations, can help with managing um, cancer or these harsh conditions that we live with, unfortunately, as humans. We not, yeah, like I said, we might not be able to get rid of them, but there are people that you might be able to see people that you know, loved ones that,
Mm.
especially elderly, they get diagnosed with these things, and some of them really shrug it off and they're like, I'm not changing my life. I'm still going to go out. And you see them lasting a lot longer on this earth.
Yeah,
Whereas the
yeah,
people that sort of give up, oh, that's it for me, then decline a lot quicker. Um,
yeah. And that is, so one of the things that I learned alongside the placebo effect that's linked to that is that though so and this is why it's like I'm such a massive advocate for how powerful your thoughts are. So if you tell somebody that they are ill and they believe they are ill, they can become ill. Or if you tell somebody that they are terminal and that they are going to succumb within a year, if they, like you say, just accept that, then that becomes the reality. Or like, you know, I'm not saying it very scientifically, because it's not just as clear cut as that. But there is evidence to support that you should be really careful with the diagnosis or prognoses that you kind of just put on somebody, because if they internalize that and believe that that is true, that can actually create the outcome.
100%, yeah. I think a better oh, that's alright. I thought you were talking and it was silent, but it wasn't. It's just my view of you is slightly delayed, so
Oh
it
yeah,
looked like you were
chatting.
talking and then it was sorry guys, we're on a roll there. And I forgot what I was saying, so,
Well,
um, but
just
yeah, I
about
agree.
the prognosis and the terminal and the diagnosis.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot to be said about how we manage everything. I think a positive mindset needs to be taught from a really early age, because we don't all have parents that have that outlook already. Um, and I think it sets you up not just for medical problems, but for like the real world in general, whether it's getting a job, finding a
Mm.
relationship, keeping friends.
Yeah.
Everyone is better to be around when they're in a positive way.
Because this is the thing, like, I know it's not as severe, but it still has severe consequences. But in education, when a teacher says to a student, "You are not going to amount to anything," I really it really annoys me, because I just think, who do you think you are to put that level of toxicity onto somebody? Because fair enough, like, separate it. If you don't put in a little bit of extra effort, or if you don't work with me on this, then it's going to have impacts on your future. That's different. But telling somebody categorically that they are going to fail, or they are
Yeah.
going to end up in jail, or whatever it is, I just think to
Yeah.
myself, are you aware of how powerful those diagnoses are? Because that can
Yeah.
become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And even that saying, the
Yeah.
self-fulfilling prophecy, that comes from somewhere.
No, definitely. That's why I say before you've even entered that classroom to get that comment made, we need to be having these strong outlooks, because how many times have you heard someone say, "That teacher told me I wouldn't amount to anything, and here I
Yeah,
am," said every famous person ever. So there is something to be said about post-traumatic growth. It happens way more often than post-traumatic stress. But why? And it's because these people are resilient, and it's because
yeah,
they have learnt resilience from this hard thing, and they've managed to have this positive outlook that says, "Okay, rest of my life, let's go." Um,
yeah. And that's the thing. Post-traumatic growth is a positive thing, but it's comes from a negative situation, a situation that in future we'd like to go a better way about it, if you know what I mean. Like, there's ways to motivate people without traumatizing them.
yeah, definitely. It makes for a cool success story, but realistically, how much help are you really doing?
I've only
Um,
ever experienced traumatic growth, post-traumatic growth, because my science teacher said to me, "You're going to be a failure. You're going to fail. Blah blah blah." So I did go home and relearn 4 years worth of science to pass my exam, which my mum was
wow.
always like, "Well, maybe they said it to reverse psychology you." And I was like, "That'd be lovely if they did, but they didn't." And there's ways to go about supporting your student that don't involve
Yeah.
traumatizing them.
I think we need to cover reverse psychology as a topic, to be fair, because I got more beef with that than any placebo effect.
I love that. Well, reverse psychology, I'll get it on the list.
Get it on there.
Um,
It's a
but
it's an
yeah,
interesting one, but
yeah, no, and again, it's that you can kind of negatively impact someone, but then go, "Oh well, it was reverse psychology." Like, well, luckily for you that it reacted with me that way, because otherwise it could have been quite the opposite outcome.
no,
Um,
definitely. And I think just to categorically say to a student, "You aren't gonna amount to something," or "You're not gonna succeed," you're not a fortune teller, you don't have a crystal ball right there in front of you.
that
It's
yeah, that
you've got no right to say that. You haven't got a clue.
yeah, that's how I feel. Just that whole, you haven't got the right to put yourself in that position to tell another human being, where they are going to end up. I just think it's just so cliche, and we've outgrown that. But can I just mention the placebo effect thing as well? So this is a slightly different thing, but along the same lines, which is visualization. So when I went to like a talk, it was with Dr. David Hamilton. Shout out, absolute legend, knows his stuff. Really, really interesting guy to listen to. And he was talking about people that coupled their treatment with a visualization of getting better, responded better to the treatment, got better more quickly, reacted to the treatment more positively, more, aggressively or whatever, and had better results. So again, this is like science catching up to be able to show us just how powerful our mind is, that our brain doesn't really know the difference all of the time between what's real and what you're telling it it's real.
It's so capable and so not at the same time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like primitive. It can be hacked so easily in the sense that, a few subtle subliminal words or images slipped in there and you've been hypnotized without even realizing it.
Literally, since birth, just walking around.
Yeah, exactly. But the great thing
Absorbing it
is,
all.
if you know that you can feed your brain information and help it to actually reprogram, this is the crux of what this episode for me is about highlighting.
No, I love that. No, definitely. The highlighting the crooks is a strong force for me right now. I feel like it's just how the world is. I feel like I'm noticing, and again, I don't know if this. I don't think this is a psychic ability. I think this is just my ability to recognize patterns. And I'm like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. It's quite lonely, but it's like I don't know. Everyone's not everyone. That is very negative. Where
No,
am I
but
going with
maybe
this?
no, but maybe as you're increasing your self-confidence, you're feeling more comfortable allowing those thoughts. You're not just pushing them down or overriding them and thinking, no, don't be so judgmental, Steph. You're actually allowing yourself to have these judgments and thinking, it's not a bad thing to be skeptical and to be wary, or I don't think, especially if your instinct is feeding into that.
Yeah, and very rarely do I let that judgment play out into
Yeah.
any way that it'd affect anyone. Um, yeah, I just feel like I'm spotting it easier now. Maybe that is growth. Maybe that is healing.
I
Um,
think I think it is. I think that's part of you trusting yourself a little bit more. And like
no,
you say, it's not
definitely.
like you would kind of use just that piece of knowledge to make a decision, but it's a starting point, and then you allow them to express and to kind of either prove you right or prove you wrong. It's like you're open enough to know that that's the case.
No, definitely. It's just a mental check. It's a little like, I got that. I saw that.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I think for whatever reason, we are improving with something, whether it's a treatment, whether it's something that we're working on personally, whatever the reason is, whether we can agree or not, I think it's the best way that we can approach it is to say, it works for me. The reason why it works, maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter, right? I feel like
If
just
it
because
works, that's the
yeah,
yeah.
it works. If it's not hurting anyone else, then that's fine. That's fantastic. I feel
I
like
tell you
that's
where
the
where
current.
placebo effect has been useful for me as being in my alcohol-free journey. And you had an alcohol-free year, and I know that you're pretty, alcohol-free regularly. It's not like you actually drink very often at all. But for me, being able to have a beer still, an alcohol-free beer, I really enjoy that taste still. Like now and again, I'll just fancy it. It'll be like a Friday or something, and I'll think, oh, I just really fancy a lager. But I have half a can and I feel tipsy as you like. And I still find it bizarre because it really makes me feel like, 1 or 2 cans in, I'm acting like I've had 2 or 3 beers.
You are
And
that kid on the park.
yeah, I am. I am that kid all over again. And it's if you are looking to make healthier choices in the future, it's good to know that the placebo effect exists. Like, you're hardwired that that taste of lager is going to equal certain feelings. And even I still go into drinking it knowing, oh, this is going to be, I'm having a fun time with my friends. This is going to relax me. I'm going to go wild. I'm going to let my hair down, whatever. So my brain is meeting that expectation by delivering me whatever combination of cocktail of chemicals it thinks I need to feel relaxed and in that position to be able to kind of like have a laugh with my friends or whatever. So there's where you can use the placebo effect to your advantage for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I the alcohol-free drink, sorry, I've not really delved into much. But I will say that the Flamingo AF raves were
Yeah.
fantastic. And when you'd first get there, and because you're like, "Well, I've not had a drink, so I'm not gonna be like, 'woo' on the dance floor." But then you see
Yeah.
that people are, and you're like, "Well, I wanna get involved with that." By the time it's over, I feel like I have been drinking, like, I have
Yeah.
been, like, it just feels like I dance way more than, I would if I was drinking. Because if I'm
Yeah.
drinking, then I'm out having a cigarette and chatting, and then you stood at the bar. So much time was spent just having fun, and then you
Yeah.
get out, and it's 4 p.m. and you can still get home for a Sunday dinner, and you're like, "Hold on." As
Winning
the
at
sunlight
life.
hits you, you're like, "Wait, I'm not drunk." But I had the best time, like, I thought I couldn't have unless I had a drink, so
Yeah, so and you're right, like, when you're in those raves, it all helps, doesn't it? The loud music, it's dark in there, everyone else is also sober, but also raving and taking full advantage of that situation. So the placebo, it's like a group placebo because everybody's feeling, feeling that high, that natural rush.
yes. Which makes me think, but is that not what church is? Like,
Yeah.
we have no solid proof of a God, we have none of this, but, like, just being in a room together, having a shared experience and a shared belief, it's powerful, and it will why wouldn't you feel like miracles were happening to you because
Yeah.
of you having this faith? It
I
put you in a really good mood knowing that you had this community.
Yeah, and I would take that a step further even that I mean I think there is some science to back this that when people get together their energies kind of connect. So your brain waves, I'm sure I read somewhere that this has been proven that your brain waves fall into sync as it were. So you kind of do become one organism in terms of your energy and your brain waves are all syncing up. So I always think that, it's like football grounds or music arenas or churches. You're all there, you're all feeling the same vibe, you're there for the same outcome, as it were, and it's palpable. It's like the energy is physical, because
Yeah.
it's so strong. So then it makes me think, well, when miracles do happen in those situations, is that just because the human race as a group is so powerful? Like, we've done some
Yeah.
deep diving ourselves these last few years of what we're capable of as individuals. But if we're capable of manifesting an outcome as an individual, then what outcomes can we manifest as a group of 10 or 20 or 100 people that have got the same aim?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's easier to feel positive when there's people being positive around me, and
Yeah.
similarly more difficult when they're not happening, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Well, I had a feeling I can't remember. Oh yeah, so I got a bag of chips and I left them in my car where the heater was on whilst I warmed the bus up and got my PJs on and all the rest of it. Because I knew if I brought the chips into the bus, they would go cold immediately and I'd be cold. And I wanted to be comfortable before I ate my food. And while I was getting ready, I was imagining that these chips are transferring their heat to the outside car temperature. Because the car temperature was warm, hopefully they wouldn't be losing their heat as quickly as if they were inside.
Right,
And then I
okay.
thought, well, then I thought that's kind of how I feel about human energy, in the sense that if somebody's quite pessimistic and somebody's quite optimistic, when you vibe together and you meet up together, the pessimistic person always leaves feeling boosted. Like, oh, you always make me feel so much better. You always like boost my mood, blah, blah, blah. The optimistic person can leave feeling quite drained. But is that because your energies sync up, if you see what I mean? So the optimistic comes down slightly, but the pessimistic comes up slightly to meet somewhere in the middle, the same way that food transfers its heat to the and everything's just trying to find this, everything's trying to find alignment as such, like.
No, yeah, I think cold is easier to conduct than hot, right? So it's easier to drown out hot than it is
Okay.
to heat up cold. Which, yeah, I agree. It would imply that good the positivity can be sapped easier by negative
Yeah,
uh, outlooks if you let it.
but also
Um,
that the negative person actually benefits from being around the positive person.
yeah, definitely. It works both ways, but that's when you have to understand as a positive. If you understand yourself, your role in this world as a healer, well, you need to protect yourself with boundaries,
Yeah.
um, wherever possible. Because if you go down, we all go down. That's just the rules.
So just coming back to this, like, placebo effect in general then, um, how could we apply the placebo effect to our everyday life? Or how does the placebo effect show up in our everyday life? And is it something that we can take more advantage of?
I think, yeah, it's a very underutilized tool that we know
Yes.
exists, and we kind of miss that idea that we can apply it to ourselves every day. Whether that's brushing my teeth makes me have the best day ever,
Yeah.
and that literally starts your day having the best day ever. But then we have to be careful that we're not feeding into obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah, that if I don't do this thing, I'm like, yeah, it becomes a crutch.
Yes. So it could be anything I do for myself will create a better outcome for more things, that ripple
Yeah.
effect.
I mean,
Um,
does it work with, like, because obviously I do little spells and rituals. So when I did my what do I call it? Cord cutting ritual. Is
yeah.
that just a placebo effect? Because after that cord cutting ritual, the next day I woke up feeling more energetic than I had in a long time, of what I could remember, like really light. And I actually didn't like, I laid there thinking, what's different? What has changed? And then remembered the cord cutting ritual the day before. But could that have had a placebo effect? Because I was expecting there to be a certain outcome and I did a physical act as well.
I
Is
mean,
that classed as like a placebo effect?
that is how I would explain that
Yeah.
situation happening. Someone more spiritual might have a different explanation, but that is literally how I see it. Not only have you provided the brain with a visual, like kinesthetic, something you could do that ritualizes this feeling. It's very powerful. Like you said, imagination is powerful. If you've got
Yeah.
something physically tangible in front of you that you are doing a process and you're putting that energy in, and you know that that's where your expectations are going to grow. Okay, I know now. This feels solid. I've just done this whole ritual. It's got to work. And when it does, why not take that from, yeah, it's because this ritual worked. If that's what
Yeah, yeah.
helped you. If you get further down the line and you're like, I need to do this again, it didn't work. That's because this ritual was wrong. That's when you need to be able to have that critical thinking and being like,
Yeah.
okay, there's something else I've got to work at here. There's something
Yeah.
else.
Yes,
Um,
not just basing it on the rituals. But also, so we could start every morning saying to ourselves that that first drink of the day is a magic money potion, and that by drinking that magic money potion, we're going to bring more like freedom into our lives, abundance,
Yeah,
more cash to kind of like treat ourselves with.
yeah.
And technically, our brains will do whatever they can to like make us feel like that's happening. And without realizing it, it kind of then changes the way you approach life and the little opportunities you might say yes to that you hadn't previously or whatever. But technically, we could help ourselves by doing that.
Yeah, like, I'm not selling you the, like, if you every time you put your honey or your sugar in your tea, you're like, "That is my abundance. That's what I'm giving myself. That's the thing that I need. Just stirring the tea is all I need." Perfect. Why not start that every day? I love that.
You know what? Like, I'm gonna add a label to my honey saying money honey.
Money honey. That's perfect. It rhymes. Do you know what I mean? Any kind of, like, solidified, tangible, like, that's great. Of course that works. The brain loves this and it needs it to feel safe and happy. So the more
Yeah, yeah,
opportunity you can feel, I think it was you that said before that when you make a soup or something, you're adding the
yeah,
ingredients
yeah.
with love.
Yeah, I
Um,
do. I give each of the ingredients a different property as well. So like courage, self-forgiveness, abundance, love, freedom, all of these positive things, especially if there's something in particular I need to combat. And as I'm adding those ingredients, I'm like, in goes the abundance, in goes the love. But I do
yeah.
believe that everything can be programmed. Everything that's got a vibrational pattern can be implanted with thoughts. So it's like, I'm very aware that if I'm cooking, I don't cook in a bad mood, because then I'm going to program that food with my negativity and then we're going to eat it. So I program my food when I remember. I don't always. Sometimes I'm like, I'm going to do a magic curry tonight, and I chop up all the ingredients and I've got them all in little piles, and then I'll have added them all and I'll be stirring away. Then I'm like, oh no. But the intention is there.
And does the food ever taste worse because of it, or
Never tastes
is it just
worse,
the
but I,
same?
I I do really believe that it tastes better when when I really like put my heart and soul into it. I mean, they say soul food, don't they? Soul cooking, and that feeling
Yeah.
of somebody cooking you food can really give you a boost, because it's been programmed with love, or is it placebo effect?
No, no, I think it's both. I mean, it's
Yeah,
literally offering nourishment from one human to another. I think that's a really powerful, beautiful move for anyone to
yeah,
make. I've made you this food. Can I make you a tea? Whatever that
yeah.
offer is. Um, but yeah, yeah, I
You know
really
what's
like that.
great though? Now moving forward with every topic that we do cover, we can kind of say, do we think it's placebo effect, or is there measurable, tangible evidence that suggests that there's some kind of like physical reaction? So like obviously with meditation being last week, we know that the brain waves and physical changes in the body have been measured. So we know that meditation does have these positive effects, but there could still be elements of placebo within that we're expecting the meditation to do this. So that's what happens.
Yeah, and that's maybe where you see that nocebo as well. Like, oh, I tried to, but like I just kept thinking of this, and then I
Yeah.
started, and it's like, hold on, think about it in a different way. Maybe those
Yeah.
things only happened because you were like, "Oh, I can't do this. I'm not very good at doing this." Um,
And then
yeah.
our spirit guide thing that we covered the week previous to that, again, could be placebo. Kind of like placebo, if you know what I mean. I suppose the coincidence might be the better word there. When I'm saying like, "Oh, let me see a pink rubber duck," and then I see a pink rubber duck, which, by the way, somebody followed us recently, or commented about the podcast, and I went into his profile and I followed him because did you see? Because you were already following him, so I'm not sure if you followed him from that comment or if you already had. But the most recent post that he'd shared was a duck wearing a pink cape but it was like flamingo wings on the cape, and it was like something about
Wow.
standing out from the crowd. And I was just like, oh my God, like that is so cool, because it was all to do with our kind of motto of standing out from the crowd, but it was the duck and the flamingo like rolled into one. So I was like, I've got to follow you, sir. Like this is bizarre.
Got to follow you, sir.
You have a pink duck on your page. But yeah, so that could come more under coincidence, rather than a placebo effect as such, because I'm looking for those signs. I'm ignoring all the other things, but
Yeah.
seeing the sign I'm looking for.
I think there's a lot to be, and again, no, I never want to take anything away from you by questioning things, but I think it is always good to have that critical thinking mind. So understanding, like, do I care more about evidence or protecting something that means something to me? This
Yeah.
idea of it's like I said, the brain likes knowing stuff. It likes certainty. If you're resting with something that's like me and my understanding about uh synthetic sugars in drinks. I'm always like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
no, the science is this," and then when I see something that's like, actually, I'm like, "Oh, how
Questions,
dare
yeah.
you? How
Please
dare
don't
you?"
rock my belief, my core belief.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where if I if there is no testable belief, then that is faith, as
Yeah,
simple as that, and about
yeah, totally.
understanding it doesn't matter if one of them means more to you, but it's about just being able to be aware and
And that is the problem with science, isn't it? That science itself will only really deal with things that can be quantified and qualified. And not everything falls into that category. Like, not everything is able to be tested in that way. Some things are just, you rely on faith. You either believe it or you don't. You rely on your own experiences of it. Like spirit guides, for example, mediumship. That, we spoke before, there's a little bit you can do with like electromagnetic fields, blah blah blah, but a lot of it just comes down to, I think that this is true, this is too coincidental for it not to be true, but it can't really be scientifically measured, so therefore it does go a bit understudied or whatever, because it just go around in circles.
the mediumship actually is a really good area that you can look at scientific because maybe there are certain elements to it that you say can't be
Yeah.
measured or tested, but there is, god damn my memory.
Well, there's the trance mediumship. I think it was in the 70s. They went quite big on actually trying to establish the science behind it. But I think once they disproved one thing, the whole area kind of got tarred as being fake, if you see what I mean.
Right, yeah, so there have been repeated studies, um up until I have no idea what the most recent, but they happen quite regularly where people test the efficacy of mediumship and
Hmm.
pseudoscience. Placebo effect is the thing
Yeah.
that is used to
Ah, yeah.
counteract these
Yeah.
things, and they've generally most uh, research will show that a medium cannot predict the future any more than the person that was pretending that they could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
so
that makes
pure
sense.
guess.
That makes sense to me, though, that the future is always changing. So you can only predict through the lens in which you are experiencing the world, if you see what I mean.
Then that's where I argue, how useful is it to
Yeah,
be telling
no.
me my future? Right, that's my
Well, there's no.
um,
I'm gonna say I wouldn't want to know the future. That's for me not the point of mediumship, if you see what I mean. Like, the point for me would be to gain advice or insight or comfort, from the existence, rather than wanting to know, what's going to happen, because it's like, I can tell you roughly what might happen if things continue in this way, but there's no guarantee that things will continue in that way.
yeah.
um but obviously we're not going to go down that road too much now. Do you want to have a look at some of the comments on the chat?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down. What are people saying? Roll up to the top, I've got power of belief and the mind can do amazing things. So true.
Yeah, totally
Um,
behind that.
Mugwort needs a more enticing name.
Don't you
Um,
think that that's a wicked name, Mugwort?
I think it sounds very hocus pocusy, and I enjoy it. I
Yeah,
like it.
I can say I like Mugwort. Let us know what your suggestions are though for a more exciting name.
Yeah, please put them in the chat. I know that the placebos is supposed to help with testing pills and medicines if they actually work, but whose smart ass idea was it to try it with birth control? So
I
the
wouldn't want
sugar
to.
pill, the, the sugar pill is for the weak that you don't need to take it. So there's two types of pills, right? The microgynon and then this one. The sugar pill is just for people like me that all I need is a few days of not having to take something, and then
Oh, and
I've
you'll be out of
forgotten
the
it
habit.
forever. I correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure there is no birth control that's actually a
Just
placebo.
rely on the sheer belief that you're not going to fall pregnant. I would not recommend that. Lots of contraceptions out there. Please choose one and use it.
Please. I love that question though. That was hilarious. Like you must be a comedian. Amelia Cook says I am cancer free, so cancer
Hey.
free dance for you. Woo.
Yes, indeed. That's amazing.
Um,
Positivity
pos-
is powerful. Yeah.
oh, these two again. It's our lovely gypsy. Our
It's
lovely
um
gypsy.
it's um it's Wednesday. That's what we do every Wednesday, 6 o'clock.
Don't miss us, guys. Or just hang on if you do arrive at 6 o'clock. We will be there.
Yeah.
But do sometimes people require drastic measures?
That was in
Again,
response when we are talking about the post-traumatic responses. That surely there's better ways to get positive reactions from people than to reverse psychology them, etc. And yeah, I mean, I suppose everybody needs that kind of, well, I say everybody needs that I take that back, but it seems common that people have those moments in their life where something dreadful happens and that is their turning point, that is their breaking moment where they say enough is enough, I'm not doing this anymore. Usually a loved one passes or a relationship breaks down or something shocking happens, and that drastic measure kickstarts a whole new life that never would have happened if it wasn't for that. So maybe that's just the plan of Earth.
yeah, I mean, you didn't listen to the first few signs that life was giving you, so okay. You keep going down. And they say, don't you? You have to hit rock bottom to. But either
Yeah,
way, whether you're at the bottom or a little bit into your struggle, you have to come to that conclusion yourself. There's no one else that
yeah,
can lead you to it and be like, "This is the problem. This is how you fix it. Now you're cured."
absolutely right.
Harry says there is that experiment on rice that goes mouldy with negative talk, and the positive talk keeps it healthy. That sounds incredible, and I don't know this study.
That's
Happy
so
rice
weird.
study.
I screenshot that this week as because I was going to suggest to us, Steph, that we do it.
I'm well down.
So the only thing with it that means that it's not completely scientific in the sense that you can't always guarantee that the water or the rice or something hasn't somehow been contaminated. But the long and short of it is that you get three exactly the same jars, three jars of cooked rice. One of
Okay.
them you talk bad to, one you ignore, and one you give love to. Just
Okay.
talking. And apparently when you take them off, the one that you've loved will be fine, but the one that you've ignored and the one that you've hated on will have gone mouldy.
Fantastic. I love it.
So
That's
that
a
I mean,
science experiment I can get behind
yeah,
and
well, this is
do.
what I thought. I'm curious because I've seen people talking about these effects and that it's true and blah blah blah, and it's something we can actually replicate.
Yeah.
I know that we can't kind of guarantee that one jar didn't get slightly warmer than the other, but we can do our best to make sure that they are.
Look, when you do a study, you just have to outline the things that you couldn't control. As long as you can outline that, and then the person
Yeah.
reading it knows, okay, this was the situation. It's
Yeah,
a
but
sound
we can
experiment.
yeah, I'm gonna say we can still store them in the same room out of direct sunlight. We can do as much as we can to make sure that that's
I'm so
yeah.
excited.
Yeah, no, I think we should do that for sure. And I think it's strange that it was suggested in here when I've actually screenshot that this week as well. Ooh,
Funnily
coincidence.
enough,
Da, da,
I
da.
believe that it was recommended by Susie at Awaken under this account, as they're saying, "Hi, Steph and Lindsay. Enjoying the chat. Just going to hug my cheese before I add it to my mash." And I love that.
Oh, wicked. So yeah, Susie is you know, the retreat that I did on Saturday and I spoke at it.
Yes.
That's the lady that organised it. So shout out, Susie. It's brilliant that you've joined us.
Thank you
That's
very much for
amazing.
joining us.
Yeah, thank you. And I love that. Do give your cheese a hug before. I mean, who doesn't love cheese anyway? You know, it's like it's
Can I be
got to
honest?
be.
I didn't know you could really put cheese in mash. I know cheesy mash, I understand that, but, like, I guess I kind of forgot, and now I'm just thankful that I was reminded about cheesy mash.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like cheesy mash is the one. Eat cheese in the mash and then cheese on the mash. Two different
Yes,
things. So
double cheese in it, but you don't like beans, and beans to me sounds like the best thing to go with that.
you don't need anything to go with that.
You don't need anything. You don't need a man.
We used to have
Um,
cheesy mash with fish fingers and parsley sauce. Banging.
oh, that sounds well nice.
That was like dinner at grandma's on a Friday night. Yes. Loving life.
Dinner at grandma's was always the best. My grandma made this, like, really thin slices of beef that, like, were cooked for about 8 hours. It was so overdone, but it was so good. You wouldn't need teeth
Mm,
to eat it. It was so nice.
that does sound good. Yeah, lovely.
I've
Susie,
experienced
yeah.
spirit, sorry, predicting future to the minute if it's something you really need to know.
Yeah, so that's Susie again saying that. And that's the thing. It's like I've had my experiences with spirit giving advice about things that are going to happen if you don't change your way or whatever. And again, that's lovely. That's if that's something you can access, or you've got a trusted friend that can help you to access that. But just be aware of people online offering to predict your future for money. That's the part that we want to make you aware about
I will
because we want
always alert you about capitalism. Don't worry about
we
that.
want to keep you safe and yeah, and it's for me it's such a beautiful industry that I want to protect it by making people aware of the potential scams. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah, me too, mate.
when I've advertised mediumship on the bus, I've had people comment a few times saying, "Oh, you know, I'm a bit skeptical. I'm a bit wary of mediums." And I'm like, "Yeah, fair enough, but you're my friend. If you think I'm scamming you, like, do you know what I mean? Like that's a bit different kind of thing. It's like there's no scam here. It's either come and experience it or don't. It's like, you know, it's not a trying to take something from you exercise."
No, definitely. Jost is back saying, "Love your stream, guys. I think it would work
Yay.
better with plants. This is the rice experiment, which would be a nice one to do too. Plant 3 seeds, ignore one, talk nicely to one,
Yeah.
talk back terribly to one. How would I bet the one I ignore
Would
grows.
grow. Yeah. No, yeah, the one that we abused would have traumatic what is it? The motivation, traumatized
Post-traumatic
motivation.
growth.
Yeah. He then would know that that was an ADHD plant because it worked well
All
under me.
literally all my plants have post-traumatic growth. It's the only reason they're here, for
That's
sure.
hilarious.
Anyone that's seen them plants as well is being like, "She's not lying."
Do you know, I'm gutted. A few of mine have died. I mean, I just can't control the temperature levels in the bus enough for it to be sustainable. But it's like it gets me down because I love having plants, but in the winter they die because it's too cold. In the summer they die because it's too hot. So I've got some
Right, yeah.
cacti. But other than that, it's like yeah, it's a bit. And I've got some fake plants, but I'm a bit gutted.
Yeah,
But, you
fake
know,
plants last longer in my house, but they don't give the same feel, do they?
that's the thing, they look lovely. You can get some that really look aesthetically pleasing, but at the point of having a plant is you want it to be, keeping the air healthy and stuff, don't you? You kind of want the actual physical benefits of having a plant. So
No,
it is what it
definitely.
is.
Jost always
But
talks to their plants, so I'm sure it's just another little whimsical thing you can do for yourself.
it is. I love it. Sedums would work well in your bush. They are like succulents but hard to frost. Ah, okay. Thank you. I'll look into that for sure.
I love that. I'm writing
Um,
that down as well. I've got happy rice study and sedums.
yeah. I've got
Also,
I mean my
sedums is the cutest word ever.
yeah, it's cute. I'm probably saying it wrong. You know what I'm like for saying everything incorrectly.
I ain't got a correction for you that works for me. But
I also need to apologize for not saying waning. I always say wanning, and it should be waning. So anyone that's been watching the podcast, every time I talk about the waning moon, I apologize. I'll try and I'll try and remember for future reference.
it's never actually caught my mind, but you saying it like that, I'm like, why did I not notice that? No word is that.
I know.
Wanning.
It's not even spelt waning, it's spelt waning. But
There's clearly
it
an
does
I in there, but who
no,
do we
it's
need?
not. It's an E on the end, so it'd be an A
Oh,
sound because of the E on the end, but then you drop it for the ing. So it is like wanning.
wanning. Wanning sounds rude. I don't know why.
But
Well, I do
anyway,
know why.
guys, that is that is our discussing the placebo effect up. And let me tell you all, I was sending beautiful good vibes for a fantastic rest of the week and lots of good luck through that whole episode. So if you're watching it, you will have good luck, and we'll see placebo effect. But start
I'll
drinking
take it.
your money. Start drinking your money ritual, money honey every day.
Money, honey.
I'm going to
I
actually
love
label
that.
my honey money honey.
It's happening. Don't. I'm ordering labels as we speak. It's happening. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us, guys. Whether you had a good time because you enjoyed it or it was just a placebo effect, we don't care. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. If you would like to get hold of a different story, which is a group of amazing curated stories from very, very insightful and honest people talking about their experiences with neurodivergence, overcoming certain troubles, traumas. It's a fantastic book, and I've done a few illustrations on it myself. So
It is
please,
so cool.
the link is below. You can support all the different things we do under the different umbrella by purchasing one for yourself. So the link is in the description. You can get it on Amazon. Um, yeah, that's my little sales pitch.
Thanks, guys. For any
Um,
person that purchases, we'll send you placebo good luck.
take it off.
Ain't it?
We should start selling that.
Isn't it? Why not? Placebo pills for all sorts of
Get your
things.
placebo pills
Get your ADHD placebo.
next to the snake oil. Good luck with the book. Thanks for keeping us
Oh, thank
entertained. Great
you.
episode. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Have a lovely rest of your week, and we will see you again on Wednesday.
Take care, guys.
Oh, I did that. Get me out.